Hey guys, Knives Galore here, and today we're going to be making a little tool that's sort of machiney, sort of not. It's used for checking the angle of your drill, because not everyone sharpens their drill bits. Some people just do what I used to do and just buy new drill bits when they get a blunt, which does happen. If they don't overheat, they can still be reused. If a drill bit overheats, it's naff, throw it away, or use it to make a knife. Either is acceptable. But if it's just a little bit dull and you check the end and it's still hard, it can still be reused as long as you know how to regrind it. And regrinding a drill bit's not that hard. You just got butt the angle up against your grinder and just kind of twist it to get that relief angle. I'm not going to go too in depth with it because I myself don't know all the ins and outs of it. But I am going to be making a little tool because I noticed when I was making my thank you video to Jeremy, I noticed that I don't often check my drill bit angles. I just kind of, it's only recently now that I've been regrinding all of them that I've been rechecking them. And therefore I've needed a way to check them without a protractor. Because I can't just tell that my drill bit's 118 degrees. I can't just look at it and go, yep, that's it. A tip that I've seen a lot of people use is if you get two standard hex nuts and you put them together, that angle created where they both meet, that angle right there, that is 118 degrees. Which is the perfect angle for a drill bit to be at. So, if you get your drill bit, if it wants to come out, put them together, butt your drill bit against it. If I can line them up correctly. It does butt up almost perfectly, if you see that there. Which is good. So I'm going to be making myself a little jig just to keep them in place. And it means I don't have to find a nut every single time I want to check my... And I can keep this with the drills, and it's just a bit more handy for me. So I've got two bits of plywood here that I'm just going to put on top of each other. That is only because I could not find any shorter screws than this. Come back, screw. I could not find any shorter ones than that. So I'm going to have to stack it up just so they don't poke out the end and I have to grind them off. Because I'm not bothered about that. So I'm just going to line them up. I'm going to want to set these up next to each other. And because I've got a machined edge here, I can work off that machined edge. So I'm going to need a couple of tools first. I've just got all the components I need at the moment. I've got my screws and I've got my nuts. I'm also going to need a square, a way to drill holes, because I'll probably split the wood otherwise, and screws have a tendency to shift where the hole actually is. So, you know, it becomes a little bit weird after that. So I'm going to need a square, I'm going to need a way to drill a hole. I'll just be using a battery drill or a pillar drill or whatever I decide to use at the time. And of course my drill bits, which have been freshly ground. You don't know what angle yet, but it's only wood. So, you know, it's not that bad. So, yeah, I'm just going to go grab all that stuff and I'll be right back with you. Right, so I've got my engineer's square. I'm just going to use that. I'm going to put that on the machined edge and just have it kind of flop over the top. Sort of like how I'm doing there. I'm just going to kind of have it flop over the top. And we can assume that's square now. I mean, it doesn't have to be that square. I mean, this isn't an airplane wing or anything. It's... There you go. And you're just going to butt the bottom of the nut, one of the faces, up against the edge that is over the machined edge on your bit of plywood, because plywood come with a little machined edge, which you can assume is square. It's not that square, but it's pretty square. And you're just going to put the other one on top of that, and both of the points on the hex nut should be touching your other bit there. It will look sort of like that. Sort of, yeah, sort of like that. It's pretty hard to show, but yeah, once you've got those in place, I'm just going to use my pencil wherever I keep that. And once I make sure everything is truly butted up, I'm just going to draw around a few of the edges, just so I know where they sit. And once you've got those there, take them off, drill your holes, and you're done pretty much. Well, also another thing that might be quite handy is I could draw around the centre a bit. That might be quite handy. Right, so as you can see there, I've got my edges and I've got my centres. So I'm going to drill the smallest hole possible. I'll probably use my 2.5mm drill bit. Drill through there, and then that will just be something I can poke my screws through, and then the screws will do the rest. So I'll drill the holes, then we'll come back and put the screws in. Yep, and that looks pretty good. We'll just test it out, see how it works. And as you can see there, perfect. I mean, everything actually lined up like how it was supposed to. That's pretty good. Only annoying thing though, screws they used were slightly too long. So I've just got to grind those down now. And I'll probably just trim off the excess there as well. So I'll just take my square, draw a line probably there. We'll just cut that off so that it's a little bit tidier. And that will pretty much be it for the project. There isn't much more I can say about it. It's just a little project. So I'll do all that and we'll just test it out for a bit. Got a whole bunch of drill bits I need to sharpen, so we're going to hop over there and go sharpen them together. So there's a couple of things we need to do just before we get to sharpening it straight away. You want to find yourself one of these, or if this is brand new, then don't even worry about it, because it will be true already. And all true means is that there's no lumps and bumps in it, basically. Because imagine when you're grinding, if you're grinding something rather small and pointed and you just shove it in the centre, it's going to wear the centre away more than the sides are going to be worn away. Yeah, that's logic. So you want to grab yourself one of these. It's just a dressing wheel. They come in various shapes and sizes. This one I just got off my other grinder because it came with it, and I've never really used it, but I use it every time I want to do any drill bit sharpening, because you don't want to have a dressing wheel that isn't true, because it's just a little awkward to do stuff with. You'll end up with kind of a straight grind and then a lump because there was a divot, or a lump the other way, and it makes it really ineffective to work with. So all you're going to do is you're going to run it. You're going to put these spinning wheels, or what you can get them in long handle versions for bigger grinders, but because this is only a small one, I'm going to be using this little handheld thing. And all you're going to do is run it up and just press that against it. It'll spin these wheels as well, if I give you an example. And you can see the wheels are spinning. I'll do that for about 8 years. Right, now you'll do that a little bit more obviously if it's not true, but I keep this thing pretty true anyway because I don't do a hell of a lot of grinding with it that isn't drill bit sharpening, so I keep it pretty true all the time. Now, you've got your drill bit here, and the faces you're going to be sharpening are these two here. You've got two cutting faces. As you can see, there's the front of your drill bit. You want to be sharpening that one there and that one there. You're going to be sharpening them independently. You're not just going to ram it in flat, otherwise you'll ruin that taper. And the idea with it, well, from what I've seen, is you kind of put one face up flat against it, just one face at the moment, and you can see it's kind of radiused. It kind of does that almost. You see it kind of comes up and then over, just as touch, and that's because of the relief angle. If you look there, you can see it a lot better. There you go, see? It's kind of rounded. That's because of the relief angle, and that's as you're drilling. If it was perfectly flat, it'd catch and cause a lot of drag, and it could grab your work and just spin it round. You don't want that. You want a little bit of relief, because most of the face doesn't do any cutting. It's just the two front faces, kind of that little bit there and that little bit there. Nothing else really does any of the cutting. So you just got to make sure those bits are sharp, and the rest of it has enough relief. There's no real limit on the relief. You can technically grind it like that and then hold it there for half an hour if you really wanted. But I personally just kind of grind and then just do a flick up, and that's enough relief for me. And it works enough, so I'm not going to grind anymore, because if you make it too weak, it will eventually snap under the stress of drilling tool steel or whatever it is. And that's basically this is just your standard twist drill. I don't know how to sharpen anything else. It's probably quite intuitive sharpening a countersink. You just kind of go along and kneel like that, but I'm not going to claim to know how to do that. So all you're going to want to do is run your grinder up, and I'll just show you the motion rather than trying to explain it anymore. Just a brief glimpse into how you do it. These are all brand new drill bits, so they should all have the same angle. That's why I wanted to build that jig earlier. And because they're all new, they've still got the zinc nitride coating on them, and they're not particularly sharp, these drill bits, which is why I'm resharpening all of them. And as you can see, that one there is pretty good. I'm pretty proud of that. It's not bad at all. And the reason why I was a little bit tentative doing it is because I only wanted to remove, and then I removed slightly too much on one pass, so I had to take off a little more on the other one. But it's not too bad, actually, so you've just got to do that with all of them. You should end up with even sides. If you end up grinding one side too much and the other one, your drill bit, as it drills, it'll cut more on one side. It'll start to bend kind of outwards, like that. If you've got that side. If it's the other side, it'll kind of catch and do some weird stuff. If it's the other side, it will slowly drill outwards and then snap on the shank, which is what you don't want. I had one drill bit that did that, and then I paid a lot more attention when grinding, which is why I needed to buy some new ones. I broke my 5mm. So that's pretty much it for that drill bit. You've just kind of got to repeat that. If you've got a drill bit that's completely knackered, you will have to grind in new angles, which is where this comes in. So if you've got a drill bit that is completely knackered, it's not got a ruined heat treat, it's just been neglected so much that the taper's almost completely gone, which can happen to drill bits when you're drilling metal a lot. You're going to have to completely regrind those angles, which is where you need this. And you'll just check it when you're done. Again, so I'll check the one I ground just now. And there you go. As you can see, that fits. It's fine. That is okay. It's not too bad. So all we're going to do then is repeat it on the rest of these. And that's pretty much, I'm not going to bore you with actually looking at how you do it, but that's pretty much all you need to do, really. There isn't a lot else to it, you know. It's pretty intuitive after that, you know. If there's a lump bit on one bit, just grind a little more on that bit, but just make sure you keep that where the grind ends in the center, otherwise you will have a very bad time of life. And that's pretty much it for my kind of drill bit sharpening tutorial slash building a drill bit thing. It's just quite handy, you know, and it's not necessarily for knife making, it's just general machining and care of tools. You're going to need to learn it somewhere eventually. There are kind of machines, like the Drill Doctor and things, that can do it for you, but if you've already got a bench grinder like I did, I have 3 technically. I don't know why I need that many, but apparently I have them now. Yeah, as long as you have one of these, it saves you a little bit of money getting it yourself, and it's quite a handy skill to learn, because if you don't have this Drill Doctor type thing, and say you're out in a factory, you can just grab on a grinder and do it. I mean, technically you can do it on an angle grinder. It's just the hardest thing to do on planet Earth, so I would not recommend it. And And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. That's all I can hope, really. Yeah, I hope to see all you guys in the next video. Have a good day.